So, like I said before, aside from some movie news, we'll talk about general news in particular on the Reviewing Network live show, and might as well talk about some sports news too, because just in the last half hour as I'm recording this, some breaking news out of the NFL. According to Ian Rappaport, who's the NFL Network main analyst, basically the San Francisco 49ers have traded quarterback Trey Lance to the Dallas Cowboys for a 4th-round 2024 draft pick. If you remember from the 2021 NFL draft, Trey Lance was, I think, the 3rd overall pick for the San Francisco 49ers. He was one of those quarterbacks up there with Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, as of right now, has been the top draft pick. Of course, he was top of the quarterbacks there because, of course, he was the number 1 overall pick, but he got his team to the playoffs last year and won a playoff game against the Chargers and gave Kansas City their all. But Zach Wilson being the other one with the Jets. He's still with the Jets right now, even though Aaron Rodgers is there. But Trey Lance, man, talk about one of the biggest draft busts of recent memory. And honestly, it's not his fault. It really is not his fault. When they drafted him, everyone was saying that he was more of a project than ready to go right away. And they kind of pushed him out there pretty quickly, mostly at the start of the second season of his career. And he started a couple of games, and then he got injured. He had a bone injury in his throwing arm, and he hasn't been the same since. Like, he only played in a couple of preseason games for a little bit. And the 49ers basically are just saying that they're comfortable with Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold as the quarterbacks, which I don't know about that. I'm very conflicted on that. And I'm not saying this because they play my Steelers in week 1, but the 49ers have a pretty stacked team already. They got a good wide receiver core. They got Deebo Samuel there, of course. They got one of the best defenses, even though Nick Bosa has yet to sign as of now. He wants a new contract. But they have a good defense. They have a good offense. They just need a good quarterback. And Trey Lance could have been the future for that team. And now they're just basically just saying that we're going with Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold, which I really don't know if Brock Purdy is actually going to be good in his second season. I think the first season was mostly a fluke. I think most people weren't ready for Brock Purdy when he came into the league. Because when he came in there and started doing a lot better than both Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. And even though they got all the way to the NFC Championship game, they completely fell apart once he got injured and couldn't finish the game. And I don't know. I think there is going to be that second season lull that most people expect for. There's going to be that sophomore slump, if you will, with him. And I don't think the 49ers are going to be as good. I don't think they'll make it to the postseason. I think they'll make it to the postseason. I don't think they're going to make it to the championship game. I think there are just other teams there that are going to be much better. I think there's going to be a lot better teams out in the open there. As for the Cowboys, I mean, it's interesting on their front, too, because Dak Prescott is still under contract, I think, for a couple of years with that extension he got in 2021. So I'm kind of curious of seeing where that's going to go. I don't know if that means that they think that Trey Lance is going to be the future of the franchise for them, maybe. Maybe so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who would have guessed a couple years ago that Russell Wilson would be a quarterback for the Denver Broncos or Aaron Rodgers would be a quarterback for the New York Jets? So it's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out, quite honestly. I'm outside doing this, as you can tell, because I'm just getting the news now. But yeah, very interesting stuff right there. It's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out. So, like I mentioned, Trey Lance, they're actually working on a trade to send him to Dallas for a 4th-round pick in 2024. So, breaking news coming from NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. We're going to be covering these type of things as we do the weekly show, which is coming up pretty soon. So if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the like and subscribe button, and let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think? Trey Lance going to the Cowboys?